Welcome to the $100 challenge, where I am going to try and flip this piece of furniture and totally transform it for $100 or less. This is a collaboration with a bunch of other YouTube channels hosted by Sab's Rehabs, so make sure to check out the playlist down below with all of the videos in this challenge. I'm starting off strong with a free piece that I got off Nextdoor. This is, I think, a wine cabinet. You can see there's kind of racks in there for wine, but it could also be used as like a credenza, an entryway cabinet, a bar, a TV stand, kind of anything. So it's super heavy, very solid. It definitely seems like a mass-produced piece of furniture, but I'm kind of wondering if it is solid wood. I'm gonna do my normal checks to kind of see if I can figure it out. I'm looking at the sides, I'm looking at the back to see if I notice a layer of veneer, and so far it's looking pretty solid, so I'm hopeful. To get started, I'm using a little bit of Dawn Power Wash dish soap, and it was not coming out the way it's supposed to. So then I'm just taking a rag and some water and cleaning this piece. So you can look and see, this is the clean water that I used to go over the piece, and even look how dirty that is. So I'm gonna need to clean it again or wipe it down again. Next up, I'm using a screwdriver to remove the hardware. You could use a screwdriver, just a manual one, or if you have power tools, you could use that. I'm gonna keep these handles for later. You never know when you might need them. And I'm starting out with some 80 grit sandpaper to check out what is under this finish and see if it is solid wood or veneer or something else entirely. So I'm starting just by giving it a good sand with the 80 grit, but I'm not wanting to press down too hard. I don't want to bust through if it is veneer, but basically I'm just trying to get off as much finish and stain as possible. Awesome subscribers on this channel sent me these foam discs for my orbital sander, and I got those foam discs from them from my Amazon wishlist. So if you want to send me a gift off my Amazon wishlist, it's linked down below, and I'm just really grateful to the person that sent me that and to everyone else who has sent me gifts off my Amazon wishlist. I also bought this Ryobi orbital sander a couple weeks ago before I had a corded sander, and oh my word, having a cordless sander has been such a game changer. I can sand outside anywhere and I don't need to be like close to an outlet. It's just so much better. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm seeing there's either a patch that I missed and didn't sand enough, or I actually sanded too much. And you can see it's not solid wood, it's the world's thinnest layer of veneer over MDF or particle board, something that basically looks like just fibers and cardboard and is super thick and heavy. So I'm wiping down the whole piece with a wet rag just to get off the dust and to also kind of see like how bad did I mess that up? Is it gonna be irredeemable, or am I going to be able to do something? Like, look at that. That is not wood, and that is not good news. Pausing to think about it. So I decided that the only way I could save this top would be to do a paint wash. I just have the tiniest little bit of driftwood paint left over from a last project that I did. So I'm mixing that up with like 3 parts water to 1 part paint, and I'm gonna go over the top a couple different times. I'm gonna use this paint wash to get a nice even coat, then I'm gonna wipe it back, let it dry, and do it again a few more times. This, I think, is going to make that spot that I sanded too hard. I think it's going to make it blend in a bit more, but we'll just have to see. So you can see that so far that spot is blending in okay with the paint wash on it, but part of why you want to wipe back the paint wash is to be able to see the wood grain come through. So it might take a couple coats to see if this is actually going to work. While the top is drying, I'm going to work on painting the rest of the piece. So I'm wiping back any of the drips from the top. And now I'm using a color that I custom mixed a couple months back for a project. This is leftover paint, but it was part kudzu and part driftwood from Dixie Belle. And that's also why I wanted to use the driftwood color for the paint wash on the top. I knew that there was a bit of that gray undertone in the green that I was using because I had used driftwood to mix with it. So I also wanted to have that same color palette when I was doing the top. So funny, so many of my neighbors have walked by and I'm just like, hi. Just, you know, covered in paint or wood filler or whatever. So I used a little bit of that plastic wood to fill in the hardware holes, and now I'm painting the rest of the piece. I'm using my Zebra Palm Pro, which is hands down my favorite paintbrush, and I'm going to try to do the entire piece with just this paintbrush, though you definitely could use more if you had them. This is my second coat of paint, and I think I ended up using 3 coats of paint total to get from that dark stain look to this nice mintier look with the custom green I made. I really want to keep the top of this piece the wood look, so I'm going over the top and I'm creating a border. So I'm going to do kind of like a little border of white paint around the top, and I'm using tape and a little bit of clear coat to get really crisp clear lines. I'll link another video where I go more in depth about that process so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, you can see in every frame that the sky is getting darker. It is nighttime and I'm having to make decisions and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So first of all, I'm having trouble because I'm getting paint all over the windows. And so I just decided, hey, you know what? You can actually paint the glass. You can paint the windows. No one will care. It's just a look. So I'm trying that out and I'll see tomorrow if I like it. The next morning, I decided to make the border of the white paint just a little bit thicker to make sure I covered up any and all of the busted through veneer. And so that's what I'm doing here again, putting down a clear coat of a tiny bit of polyacrylic, letting that dry so that when I put on the white paint, it won't seep through the tape. While that's drying, I'm giving a good scuff sand to the rest of the piece, and then I'll do my third and final coat of paint. Look how nice and crisp these paint lines are. I love that trick, and I honestly always think this is the most satisfying part of any project. To seal this piece, I'm going to use a water-based top coat. This is polyacrylic from Minwax. I'm using it in clear satin. It's going to have a very light sheen to it, and I'm doing 2 coats, letting them dry in between, and doing a light layer of like 440 sandpaper in between. I decided that I don't want to leave these windows green. I'm not going to do a couple coats of paint on them. That would definitely have saved money. But I decided to make it hard on myself financially with this project, and I'm going to use cane. So I'm taking out these glass windows and I'm going to install some cane webbing. Are you kidding me? Pardon the overreaction, but that was the moment I realized that I had not ordered enough cane in the mail and had to immediately order more on Amazon. So I'm putting the cane webbing in warm water, soaking it for 30 minutes, and then I'm using staplers to attach it to my doors. You could use a hand stapler. That would save some money because I think they're cheaper, but one of my awesome subscribers sent me this stapler in the mail, which I'm just so happy to have. It makes projects so much easier. It did take me a few minutes to get the hang of it. I wasn't putting the staples into the stapler correctly. You have to flip it upside down and put them in a certain way, and that's what I get for never, ever, ever reading the manual. There's several tricks to stapling in cane. You want to try and get the rows as level or even as possible so they don't look tilted. I didn't do a great job of that on this door, but I did a better job on the second one. And the other trick is that you want to put staples in between every circle, I guess. So making sure that there's as many circles as there are in the cane, there's that many staples in, if that makes sense. So I deleted about 20 minutes of footage of me getting really frustrated trying to put these doors on, and I ended up taking the hinges off of the piece completely and then reattaching the hinges to the doors and then reattaching the doors or the hinges and everything to the piece. This is always the bane of my existence. I have like 4 other videos where I have drama with doors and hinges, so maybe one day I'll learn my lesson to just leave hinges and doors alone. I'm using a drill and then some hardware that I just happen to already have in my supply, but I'll link that down below and give you some prices for that in a minute. And yeah, just picked out a couple things that I had laying around in my tool closet that I think go really well with the vibe of this whole piece. So remember what I started with? I spent 50 cents on soap. I got t-shirt rags for free. You can buy a screwdriver for 7 cents on Amazon. I used $1.06 worth of sandpaper. I used $22 of paint. I used a $17 paintbrush, 50 cents of wood fill, $1.68 of country chic paint, $2 worth of clear coat, $1 of tape, $1 pair of scissors. Knobs and pulls were $8 because I got them wholesale, and that's a whole other conversation. I spent $40 on cane webbing, and $1 on staples for a total of $95.82. I succeeded in the $100 challenge. Do you want to see more videos of epic makeovers for under $100? I will link the playlist for this challenge down below. Again, it's hosted by Sab's Rehabs, and there's a ton of people participating in this who are great YouTubers and furniture flippers. I'll also link a playlist down below of some of my favorite furniture flips that I have done as well. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you at the next flip. Bye!